through the
Ladies and gentlemen, football fans of North Central Ohio, you are now entering the Friday Night Pigskin. So get strapped in, lace them tight and get right for big hits, top plays, and highlights. All coming your way from under the Friday night lights. The most exciting sounds and sights, gridiron action to serve your viewing delights. Let's go. Friday night lights. Get hyped, it's Friday night. Friday night lights. Get hyped, here we go now. Friday night lights. Get hyped, it's Friday night. Friday night lights. Get hyped, here we go now. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Throws it over the middle and he gets absolutely sauced. Friday night lights. Get hyped, it's Friday night. Friday night lights. Get hyped, here we go now.
Snap back, it's going to be a reverse. Back to Lewis. He's going to go deep. Has a man open. McFadden.
Oh, my goodness.
Hayden
reel.
McFadden. Touchdown, trickery, oop-de-oop, call it whatever, but the Falcons strike.
Welcome back to the mix, Mr. McFadden. We had some historic nights go down all around the area, including out there in Dromesville tonight. We'll show you how the Falcons kicked their way to 6-0 in what we thought was going to be a big-time matchup. We also had plenty of other games going down around the area that ended up being lopsided affairs, setting up some big games coming up here in the future weeks. I am Brian Skowronski, and this is the Friday Night Pigskin week number 6 edition. That's right, we're starting to make our way here into mid-season form, and that's what we're expecting to see from some of the top contenders here in the area. As the conference standings, they're starting to shake up right now, and we're getting an idea of the cream. It's rising to the top of the crop. And the MOAC
One of those leagues that we talked about here at the beginning of the year. We thought it was going to be very interesting how it was going to all shake out. Obviously, the Shelby Whippets, they're the defending league champs, and everyone's kind of looking up at them. But the Galion Tigers, who gave them a fantastic game, they're right there in the number 2 spot, and they were trying to stay within striking distance of the Whippets if they can get tripped up along the way. They were at home. Homecoming night tonight against the Highland Fighting Scots. We'll show you how it all went down tonight over at Unkrich Stadium. And this one was about the Galion defense, as it's been so many times this year on their home turf. They blocked a punt on the opening drive, setting up this beautiful dime. That's Aiden Schmidt to Jacob Chambers into the zone. It was quickly 7-0 in favor of the TI Tigers. The rest of the first quarter, nothing but defense, but midway through the second, Schmidt gets off for a 12-yard rushing touchdown to give Galion a 14-0 lead. That's all it was at the half, much to the surprise of many over at Clear Fork tonight. But coming into the third, Schmidt would continue to go to work as he finds Kurt Hay here, 22-yard connect, 21-zip, the shutout still being preserved, and the defense continues to hold strong. The offense taking advantage. This is Dominic Capretta now, 21 yards. He gets into the end zone with a physical run, and then nonstop running the ball in the fourth quarter for the Tigers. They would seal it with a Cohen Adams touchdown here, 35-0. Cue the running clock, and the Tigers are now 5-1 overall on the season. Back-to-back wins for them and back-to-back shutout victories for the Tigers now within MOAC play after winning 7-0 over Ontario last week and shaking off that 34-45 loss against Shelby a couple of weeks ago. But that's the best team we all think in the area, and the Whippets kind of showed it tonight as well as they moved to 6-0, and we had Josh Banks over in Caledonia to see the Whippets just firing on all cylinders yet again, my friend. Looked like this was the Braden DeVito show. Really no surprise there. Josh, you with us? All right, so it doesn't look like we have Josh Banks there with the Shelby River Valor game, but I can tell you that there was another team in the MOAC that's been trying to keep pace here, and I think a bit of a surprise in the eyes of some around the area. But the Clear Fork Colts, they had homecoming night tonight. A lot of festivities going on. Belleville was absolutely packed. The rows and rows of the pop-up chairs on the hill tonight. They're earlier than I think I can ever remember. I get over there about 2.5 hours before kickoff, and that place was already filling up. And the Colts did not disappoint. Let's show you how they got it done tonight to stay within a game of the Shelby Whippets. Maybe my favorite run out that we have. They all have the big flags. They do the color march out there as well, and the Colts offense would get it going here with this man. He was our MVP, Nash Evans. Shifty moves, keeps his feet. He would truck in to make it 7-0, 2:22 to go here in the first quarter after this 38-yard connect. And now here's Marcus Hoflick going deep, and you gotta cover the man down the seam. Nash getting loose again, a 75-yard score this time, 14-0. He actually tacked on a three-pointer at the end of the second quarter, and he would keep the momentum flowing. Here's the opening kickoff to the third quarter. He was not the king of homecoming, just a junior. He couldn't win it just yet, but he definitely was running the show. 88 yards back to the crib, and each of his touchdowns, man, right there in front of the Stampede. They were rocking and rolling on this night. The offense for Harding certainly was not. They cough it up here. Marcus scoops it up. He takes it in. That would trigger the running clock just a minute into the third quarter, and already 2 Clear Fork touchdowns. They would add on a late score, the Presidents would, to make it 31-7, but this one was about the Colts and about the defense. They were looking for their third shutout victory of the season. They nearly got it, if not for a garbage time touchdown by the Presidents after Clear Fork had taken out some of their starters. And Nash Evans, 126 receiving yards on the night. He scored 2 touchdowns. He had that 88-yard kick return too, and they were using him in a variety of ways, bringing him off of the jet sweeps. And Devin Oswald, kind of a quiet night offensively. He's been that dude for them at times. Other nights, it's been Nash stepping up. But what I really loved was I got a chance to talk to that MVP after the game, and here's what he had to tell me about next weekend's upcoming matchup that we've all been kind of looking forward to in Week 7 over at the Whippet Athletic Complex when they take on Shelby. A shutout victory. They're going to be 6-0. You guys are 5-1. How much are you looking forward to that impending matchup next week?
Oh, I'm really excited. I mean, it's going to be probably our best game of the season. Besides Perkins, I mean, we're going to have to show out for them. They got a very good team, but I believe in us and believe in our game.
So they're very excited about everything that's going on with the football team right now, and he mentioned that they've just been building a program now. Year number 3 under Aaron Brokaw, and Clear Fork, they're looking like a team that's got 18 total playoff appearances, and certainly number 19, you can go ahead and pencil them in. They are right near the top right now of Region 14. As I take a look here, it's been updated, and they're actually in the number 4 spot right now, so very much in control of their own destiny heading into that big game against the Shelby Whippets. And I want to see how Shelby got the job done tonight on the road against River Valley. So if Mr. Banks has some sound for us, sound off.
Yeah,
me,
I think
baby.
we're good
Tell
now.
me about it.
I think we're good. Big night for Braden DeVito. He goes for 223 yards and 5 total touchdowns, or 258 yards total and 5 touchdowns. And you're going to see it on the highlights that this young man is as good as expected. As he's going to go in just easy, 5 yards out the gate, gets a rushing touchdown started, and he's doing that a lot more this year, but this is his favorite target. Quick screen, Brady Bowman, and he's one of those guys, he doesn't need a block. He just needs a hole, and he gets one there and runs past every single Viking. That makes it 14-0. You're going to see DeVito go in again, his second rushing touchdown of the night. It wouldn't be his last either, folks, and that was from 10 yards. How about this play you're going to see right here, though? The patience of Braden DeVito in the pocket is absolutely astonishing, as he's going to sit and find Carter Kessler wide open in the middle of the zone, and he's going to run through Eli Snyder for his second touchdown pass of the evening. Kessler's first, and his 4th total already. But I tell you what, this run right here, he's going to put the Vikings in the spin cycle, not once, but twice. And then he's going to run past everybody and get into the end zone. That's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. And how about the freshman, Luke Blevins, getting some work in? This young man's going to be special for the Whippets as well, as he gets a rushing touchdown tonight. And like I said, Braden DeVito goes for 258 yards, 5 total touchdowns. That puts him at 1,764 total yards on the season and 29 touchdowns, and we're only in week 6.
And you look at the last 2 weeks, and they're playing the bottom feeders of the MOAC, but they're doing exactly what you would expect, Josh. They've outscored Highland and now River Valley a combined 90-0. So this squad, they look like the number 1 team in the state these last 2 weeks.
Well, and let's talk about how coming into the game against River Valley tonight, they were the number 1 defense in the MOAC, averaging about 180 yards a game allowed. They gave up 3 first downs and 40 total yards against a very talented Vikings offense.
Just giving up 40 yards is a ridiculous number against any team. So it's way more than just Braden DeVito, who's also a standout in the defensive back role that he plays, looking like a human video game character tonight, man. He had that main character energy for sure, but just a lot of the different names that you were calling tonight for the Whippets, who kind of stood out on the defensive side of the football that makes them more than just the juggernaut on the offensive side? They're averaging 50 points per game coming in, but I don't think that they're getting enough credit what they can do on the flip side of the football.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got Carter Kessler and Michael Shepard as 2 defensive ends, they go 6'5" and 6'3", and they play tight end as well. They're fast on the feet, and they play the stand-up role. They get pressure with ease against most quarterbacks, and that's what makes them so good. And then when you've got, the likes of Landon Foltz and Brady Bowman and Braden DeVito playing your corner and safety roles over the top, three of the fastest dudes on the field every night. Defense wins championships. The offense is a lot of fun to watch, but if this defense keeps rolling, there's a very good chance we're going to be following them for a long way this season.
So Shelby 6-0, Clear Fork's 5-1. They go and invade Whippet territory next week. You giving the Colts a puncher's chance to go toe-to-toe with the #1 team in the state in D4, because there's a lot of momentum right now in Clear Fork's corner, but it just seems like maybe there's a little bit different levels and that maybe Shelby's a little bit above. How do you feel?
Shelby's the class of the MOAC right now. Clear Fork's a close second. You know, Galion's right there as well, being probably that #3 spot, already losing to Shelby. My worry for Clear Fork is I think they have an outstanding defense. We've seen that all year. I don't know if they've got a high enough powered offense to be able to score with the Whippets. And you cannot stop Braden DeVito and Brady Bowman. You have to try to contain them. They're going to make plays.
Yeah, they've been doing it their entire career so far, and did it again tonight on the road. All right, Josh, hang with me here. Let's go into more Mo action. We were at all the games pretty much tonight, and we had Ontario looking to protect their house against Pleasant, who coming in at 1-4. So it felt like it was going to be a get-right game for the Warriors, returning to the friendly confines of NIST Stadium after not really performing up to expectations on homecoming night, shutout against Galion, and they would get a test, actually, from the Spartans. Let's show you the highlights. So they were coming out playing for keeps. I mean, a great tradition. It used to be a football factory out there in Pleasant, Ontario. They would get on the board with a couple of Cooper Kilgore field goals, but Avery Hamper with this touchdown reception in the second quarter would give them the lead, and they actually led 10-6 at the half until we go to the third quarter. It's Trey Remy, Jonathan Mahon, 25-yard strike, puts them on top 13-10, but this was a seesaw battle. Ryan Conway, short touchdown run, puts Pleasant back in front. It is 17-13. Ontario answers right back. Gavin Miller with a short tutty of his own to put them in front, but this was the biggest play of the night. Weston Schaefer getting loose into the second level. Look at the shiftiness. Cuts back against the grain. Can you say top play nominee coming up? I can. 90 yards. It's 24-20, but down the stretch, the Warriors in the fourth quarter, dagger, bobbled, caught for Carday Brown, the game-winning touchdown, and Ontario survives 27-24. Max Rowley went over 100 yards in this game. Cooper Kilgore is not exactly 100% healthy. He did bomb, I believe, a 42 and a 43-yarder consecutively at the beginning of the game. So that's a huge weapon for Ontario, and it's a young team. They're still trying to come along right now, Joshua. But to get this type of a challenge against Pleasant, what do you make of Ontario right now, mid-season, all these sophomores in the lineup, and they're just getting by, but did get to 3-3 tonight?
Just getting by is, I think, the best way to describe it. They're extremely young. They might be one of the youngest teams in the conference, and that's going to benefit them, I think, come postseason time. If they get there, I think they have an opportunity. But I think right now it's trying to figure out an identity. You've got a very big arm quarterback, but you've also got the weapons in the backfield, as Cooper Kilgore, when he's healthy, is one of the best running backs in the conference as well. So I think trying to find an identity and just trust the process that Coach Eckert has is going to be huge for them the rest of the way.
Defensively, Ontario, they've been solid. I mean, they only give up 7 points to Galion last week. In the loss against Clear Fork, they only allowed 14, including a late touchdown in that one. 6 points in the two wins against Norwalk and Madison. So I think on that side of the football, that you feel like at least Ontario, if Trey Remy doesn't give the ball away, he did have one interception tonight, adding to his MOAC leading turnover issue, if you will. He's just a sophomore, but if they can protect the ball, I feel like they're at least going to hang around here over the next couple weeks on the road at Harding. They do have Shelby after that, but then Highland and River Valley. So I can see this team certainly contending for a playoff spot, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, they're 3-3 right now. You know, you kind of expect Shelby to kind of take care of business against them. But then, you know, you look at Harding. I got to see Harding, as did you tonight. they're a very up and down team. That's a very winnable game for them. And then kind of you said it best, River Valley and Highland, kind of the bottom feeders of the conference. So I could absolutely see a 6-4 season, which would get them into the playoffs and give them a chance to make a little bit of noise.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the MOAC standings and how it's shaping up right now as we're through 6 weeks, and we've got a lot of teams that don't play in the MOAC. But we know Shelby's undefeated right now. They're 3-0 in the league. We got Clear Fork undefeated right now in the league as well. And that determination of who wins that game next week probably will end up being the victor. Especially you certainly feel that way if Shelby were to come out on top with just 3 more weeks to play.
Yeah, Shelby's schedule kind of the rest of the way is dictated by next week's game. Obviously, they get Ontario again, and then they get Harding in week 10. But if they get past Clear Fork, I think the league's theirs, no questions asked. But here's the thing. You've got Shelby, Clear Fork next week. Galion and Clear Fork still have to play. And then Ontario still has to play Shelby, who offensively might be one of the teams that can keep up with them in the league.
All right, we're going to find out right here live and free on the OH Report. Ton of Mo action still coming our way. Josh, appreciate you giving us some time here, man. All right, so we showed you that Shelby stayed undefeated. We still got Hillsdale coming up in the show. They are undefeated, but an Ashland Arrows team that we all had high hopes for, the defending OCC champions, they continued their undefeated streak at home tonight as well, and it was homecoming night, and Doug Haydett was there. Kind of our honorary student, enjoying all of the festivities over there at Community Stadium, Doug, and it's hard not to be impressed with this Arrows team. Break it down for me, and how did they look at home tonight? Big crowd, and of course, a lot of fireworks from that offense.
Yeah, huge crowd there tonight. Had the cars rolling around on the track pregame for the homecoming festivities, and some of the players were on the court this year. So, but yeah, a lot of fireworks on the field tonight. Nathan Bernhard, we keep talking about him every week. This week he actually broke a few records. He goes over 100 touchdowns for his career. He's got 101 now, combined passing and rushing, to pass Marcus Fuller, 2011 graduate. So that's a new record at Ashland High School. He sets the record at AHS for career completions, also a Fuller record, and then also went over Fuller for career yards on offense. So 5 total touchdowns tonight, 2 rushing, 3 passing, almost 300 yards of total offense, and he kind of led the way for him tonight, as he has been the last few weeks.
And you start naming guys like Fuller, and then you look at the Taylor Housewrights of the world and some of the other great quarterbacks that have come up through that spread system. If you're going to be breaking those records, do we have the GOAT at that position right now playing for the program? Do you consider Nathan Bernhard to be that dude in terms of this program that's had all those great storied signal callers?
You're gonna put me on the spot with that question. I've watched Fuller and Housewright. I started covering Ashland football during Ashland's sophomore year, so I saw them all. Saw Ashland, I saw Housewright at Ashland University. Was an All-American there. I watched Fuller play a game at Brown. We'll see where Nathan ends up at the end of this season. We don't want to run away with too many crowns before the season's over, but his game has just improved so much this year. I mean, he was great already. Just delivering throws downfield. He had some off-balance throws earlier this season that really kind of separated what he was able to do last year with what he can do now. And just the size, he can run it, he can put his head down, he can run away from guys. He's playing some defense this year, so he's had some chase down tackles that have been fun to watch. I think when you put the whole package together, it's hard to say anybody's been better out there, but I think he would even say he wants to finish his career out before anybody's calling him the best ever. So
I think that was a perfect way to kind of structure it there, kind of giving me the answer while also dancing around the perimeter right there.
Yeah.
But it's more than just Bernie, of course, on this club. And O'Brien went off tonight. It seemed like he got a lot of cheers from the pro Ashland crowd.
Yeah, Killian O'Brien, he started out this year really quick, had 4 receiving touchdowns through 3 weeks, 2 picks through 3 weeks, and the last couple weeks wasn't the headline guy that he had been. And tonight, 3 catches, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, also gets 2 interceptions. So just a big night. I mean, he's really shown off his athleticism this year. I think he's got a couple of offers, Austin P, and then also Ashland University. So he's a kid that, were it not for Bernhard there, he would be getting a lot of the chatter that that a player of his talents would be used to getting. But just really showed off his skills tonight, and Madison was hanging around a little bit there tonight too. So the turnovers struck again. I think the Arrows had 3 picks. Jordan Ferguson had the other one, so that kind of really stubbed the toe for the Rams tonight.
But you thought that maybe Gordon really shined tonight in the Rams uniform despite the loss.
Yeah, so their senior running back, he comes out, rips off a 55-yard touchdown run in the second quarter, pulls it within 17-7. I had him finishing with 134 yards on 15 carries, but Bernie and the boys answered right back, got another touchdown just before halftime, so they kind of canceled that out and then shut him out after halftime. But yeah, definitely Gordon, I guess, had missed the last couple games with some health issues. So Kobe Johnson, their coach, shouted him out, and really a tough guy to bring down. He was wriggling through tackles a lot of the times throughout the night. Senior running back, and I know he's gotten a few small school offers too coming into the season. But yeah, Caleb Gordon, 5'10" senior out there, had one of the best performances against the Ashland defense of any player this season.
So the Rams dipped to 2-4 on the year. Let's go ahead and check out the OCC standings from top to bottom and show you how this thing is shaking out. And we thought it might just be a 2-pony race with Ashland and Lexington. However, West Holmes, they're starting to put together a nice run. And outside of that loss to Triway, who's a pretty good team, they're 5-1. That was opening night for them. They've ripped off 5 straight wins. They've only given up 1 score or less over the last 4 weeks. Granted, against all the bottom feeders in the OCC, do you feel like the Knights are going to be able to hang around deep into the season as we go over these next few weeks? Or is this going to be Lexington, Ashland, Week 10? We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Is that still kind of, you put the magnifying glass on that and we can all kind of fast forward the season for that to direct who's going to be the champion?
I wouldn't fast forward things just yet. I mean, just like you, I'm looking at scores, and I mean, it looks like the defense is holding teams down, and very similar scores actually to what Ashland's been putting up too. I mean, you mentioned some of the games early in the season. Orville's a 4-2 team. They beat them 28-20, and like you said, Triway's pretty good, lost to them by 2. So I think there's going to be a ton of eyes on that Lexington game next week. It's at West Holmes, I feel like if you just ask Joe Schmo on the street, who has been kind of following things, he'd say it's Ashland Lex in Week 10. But I think West Holmes has been the eye opener for everybody that's kind of paying attention to the OCC on the peripheral.
Yeah, might be a bit more of a fun finish than we all kind of anticipated, and they do have Lexington and Ashland the next 2 weeks, so we'll find out real quick here, Doug.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
That is your source for everything Ashland. Make sure that you can't grab a physical newspaper, but go online and check out the Ashland Source tomorrow. Always thanks for the time, Doug.
You got it. Thanks, Brian.
All right, we're going to take our first commercial timeout. When we come back, we're going to look all the way back at week number 5. I've got your top play of the week, plus your Friday night phenom, and we've got tons more highlights on the way. We'll show you who else went to 6-0 and the big shakeup that we had in the Firelands Conference. That's all on the way next.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned, so you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Hi guys, I need you all to have a foam finger. At Mechanics Bank, we're all about the community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank. That's better.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, our caring professionals are ready to serve you with personally tailored services designed to meet the unique needs of each individual. When we take on a patient at Avita Home Health and Hospice, they really do feel like family. So when we take care of our family, we want to take care of the whole person. So we take care of them from our nurses, our aides, our physical, occupational, and speech therapists, but we also have people that tend to their hearts. So we have social workers, we have chaplains, and people that can help with the emotional side of their care.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, we have a dedicated team that takes care of you. Caring for the whole person is our promise to you. From social and emotional well-being to the way the patient relates to their loved ones, we treat your family like our family.
Serving patients and their families wherever they call home, including assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Call 1-800-4NURSES to see if Avita can help administer your plan of custom care.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Welcome back inside the Friday Night Pigskin week number 6 edition, but we're going to flip it back to week 5 real quick. We gave you all the nominees for the top play of the week, 10 of them to be exact, and here is who America decided was the very best play of the week. How about Cooper Nelson with the strip 6, see you later. Taking it back to the crib, a huge game against Fredericktown, undefeated versus undefeated, and it's the Purple People Eaters that come out on top, thanks in huge part to this play, your top play from week number 5. And your Friday night phenom, we had some phenomenal nominees. Up 4 nominee this past week. But a newcomer to the list would be your winner from Western Reserve, Landon Weigel. Huge night. The numbers speak for themselves. What more can I say? Almost 170 yards, but when you find pay dirt 5 different occasions, you certainly are worthy of being a phenom, and that's exactly what this cat was in a big win against St. Paul, the Rough Riders. And Weigel, get your Phenom of the Week. And here is the breakdown. A landslide for the number 7. How about 39% of the total vote? Nobody else really in the conversation. Jacob Wilt in second place this past week. Congratulations to both of our winners, Cooper Nelson and Landon Weigel. Speaking of a couple of winners, we got 2 dudes. They've been hanging out, having a good time, just kicking it at the bar. But they brought in some big-time Friday night football tonight. So let's bring in our guys, Bryce and Josh, hanging out down in Sunbury, I believe. Fellas, what's going on with you? You having a good time tonight?
Having a great time. We're at the beautiful Firehouse Tavern here. Had some great wings. The Golden Eagle Golden Sauce was delicious. Yeah. Happy to be here.
I'm patting my belly because I'm full.
How much heat did they have on those wings, man? Because obviously the Golden Eagles, they have been bringing the heat so far this season. Did it kind of match the temperature of the football team?
A little bit of spice, a little bit of tang. It was delicious.
It was definitely a little caliente.
All right, let's see how the Eagles got it done tonight, fellas. Roll that beautiful beam footage.
So who else would start us off other than the man named Nolan Burley with the quick 2-yard touchdown run? But a note here, Jackson Barnicut, the receiver, he's listed officially as the backup quarterback. So a little quarterback-to-quarterback action, scoring the touchdown, his first reception of the year. On the 2-point conversion, though, they turn around and they say, Nolan Burley, would you like this football? And he said, yes, please, I will gladly accept that. And he's in for the 2-point conversion. Now looking for Gavin Harrington along the sideline, puts the head down, plows the tackler, dives in for the touchdown of his own. That's his second on the season, but Nolan Burley back to doing Nolan Burley things, this time breaking off a 62-yard touchdown run, and just that speed, he was untouched all the way in. Then capping off the night with his 3rd touchdown of the night, completing the trio. He has 13 touchdowns already on the season. On the night, he had a total of 187 rushing yards on 15 rushes, more than 10 yards per carry. And then to top things off, Tiquan Bunting, typically in at the fullback position, but getting the nod as running back at the end there and settling with the touchdown.
How about 5 straight wins for this Golden Eagle team? And we show all the offensive highlights, Bryce, but a shutout, bro, and they've only given up, 10 points, 7 points, 7 points, and then 0 points tonight. Talk about that side of the football and how the Eagles are able to be dominant more than just all the fireworks and all the fun highlights that we see from Burley and the boys each week.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible to see, and we even nominated one tonight. Our MVP was TJ Miner, who plays the nose position on the defensive front tonight. He had 3 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, and only a sophomore, but has already gotten so many looks, already has a few Division I offers. They have so much high hopes for him.
And
Definitely.
Josh, you're from the Toledo area, bro. I mean, you've seen some big-time football your entire life. You've been a part of it. This big Walnut team, they got huge aspirations coming off a state Final Four run in Division II. What are you seeing about the complement of talent that they have from top to bottom as far as being a competitor for a true state championship run?
I think they're just full-fledged, a great team all around. It was kind of on exhibit tonight. It was just on special teams, defense, and offense. It just seemed like they're just firing on all cylinders.
Padua Franciscan, traditionally, they've been in the playoffs a whole bunch here, boys. They made some deep runs, too. Probably not quite your older brother's Bears team. Any kind of signs of life, though, from this team out of the Cleveland area? Did they have something that they can draw up and say, hey, this went well for us tonight, or was it just all Eagles all night?
Yeah, I mean, they have Landon Hanover at the quarterback position. He was 7 for 17 tonight, but, I mean, he was able to get some the chains moving in several situations. I mean, especially in that first drive, they picked up a couple of first downs and worked themselves well into big Walnut territory, and we thought maybe we were going to have a game on our hands. He's a two-pronged attacker. He has the throw, and he can throw the ball. He had 43 yards on the pass tonight, but he can also run. We saw a lot of different design QB runs for him, both up the middle with the power, but also taking it outside as well.
They're going to be back at home here after next week, back-to-back home games for them, and I love the schedule, how it shapes out here. 4 of 5, all at the friendly confines there in Sunbury. But next week, that's going to be a big test, going on the road up to Worthington to take on Kilbourne. Preview that one for me a little bit and what your expectations are heading into week number 7.
Yeah, so this is likely going to be the de facto conference championship game. Both teams undefeated in the conference and the only ones left in the conference as they match up in week 7. And I think Big Walnut is going to have a game on their hands. I mean, they've just been cruising in these last games, just outmatching opponents, and they're very skilled opponents, don't get me wrong, but haven't been up to the caliber, I think, to them as a team. So I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a period where they're going to have to feel each other out and figure out, what the best plan of attack is. We see that so much from Big Walnut, where maybe it takes 8, 12, 14 minutes for them to get rolling, but eventually that offense does. So it'll certainly be a challenge.
And you talk about just getting a plan of attack together. Obviously, you already had the Eagles' wings out there. What's next? Are we done eating? Do we go now into a nightcap? Is there some dessert on the menu? How do you boys plan on finishing things up there?
Probably we'll get another round of wings, and probably might get a little ice cream late tonight too. Kind of partying with the crew tonight. Just love hanging out with the boys. So yeah, probably do something like that, Bryce. Probably just a stop over here, right?
Yeah, definitely finishing up our festivities here and probably heading home for the night. It is a late one.
Yeah, a double dose of wings. I know this is way past Coder's bedtime, so Josh, you might have to get the ice cream to go, dog, but get some sprinkles, man, because obviously winners deserve it, and it sounds like you guys were a winning duo tonight.
Thanks so much. Great talking to you.
I appreciate that the Spice Boys will come. It's a pretty cool nickname. And, boy, what a run right now for the Golden Eagles. It feels exactly like a season ago. Lose opening night against Bishop Watterson, who, oh, by the way, again, they're 6-0. They're crushing everybody so far. And now the Eagles, they have found their wings. They are soaring, and they very well could run the table here. Kilbourne next week, as Bryce said, that's a de facto OCC Capital Championship. So all eyes on that one. And, of course, we'll have the action for you guys coming up live and free. But you've been seeing way too much of me now, so I'm going to toss it over to my boys on the other side of the studio. That's right, WCAL/KMAC Quarter combining.
/Firelands.
Yeah, Firelands. Throw that in there,
Hey,
too.
we may not have ice cream, but we have a lot of 6-0 teams over in this corner. We got a mixture. We got a little bit of KMAC, but then we got a little bit of WCAL, got some Firelands Conference as well, because, we like to broaden our aspects every once in a while. Jonathan, you were up at Firelands Conference country. I'm over at WCAL country, where it was a showdown of a 5-0 team we expected to be 5-0, and then kind of an unexpected 5-0 team in Smithville at Hillsdale. Smithville knocked off Dalton 2 weeks ago and surprised a lot of people. They got votes. They were state ranked coming into this week, and it was a matchup between the number 1 and number 2 rushers in the WCAL, Owen Sloan as well as Mason Haynes. And let's just show you the footage and see what happened on homecoming night from Falcon Land. Congratulations, Queen Gabriella Davis, King Blake Schwann. They'll get the dance at the dance next week. But Smithville dancing early. Brady Seidel, a 54-yard pass to Isaiah Lee. Second play from scrimmage. That's going to set up first points for Smithville. Hillsdale trails for the first time this season as Luke Snyder hits it, but right back at you. It's a double handoff, flea flicker, some trickeration. It's your call of the night as Lewis finds Hayden McFadden. Welcome back to the game, Mr. McFadden. 51 yards, 7-3. Next possession, Lewis. Watch this play. He just broke the career passing touchdown mark last time. He adds on. Look at the dart on the run to McFadden once again. You know he's 100% healthy. It is 14-3. Time running out in the half now, and Lewis says, I can throw it, but I can run it too. Off the left side, gets past 2 defenders, 5 yards in, 21-3 at the break. And at the break, it was so cool. The kids were loving it so much, they're throwing darts to each other on the sideline. Those are 2 future Falcons. Give them about 10 years. They'll be on our highlights once again. Second half, it was the Owen Sloan show. Takes over, scores from 3 yards out. That makes it 28-3. But I mentioned the number 2 rusher in the WCAL, Mason Hines. He's going to answer that touchdown with his own from 7 yards out. It's 28-10. But Owen Sloan putting the bow on top of this present to Falcons fans. 16 yards away, he finishes 29 carries, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was our MVP as the Falcons roll once again, 34-10. They are atop the WCAL standings, Hayden, and what an impressive performance. Welcome back, Hayden McFadden.
Yeah, and I can tell that Cale Lewis has been working with Peyton Manning over the summer.
Right, yeah.
Some fantastic throws, but also he's putting in a little bit of English, getting his feet on the ground, making sure to go get some touchdowns there as well. I really like the well-roundedness that we're seeing out of this Hillsdale team. We saw it last year, but it just feels like it's elevating to a point now to where this is a real contender for a state title.
Yeah.
I thought they were a little early last year getting to the state championship.
That's what everybody said.
But I think they're ready to go now.
Yeah, and congratulations, Cale Lewis came in with 48 passing touchdowns. That was tied for the career best in the history of Hillsdale Falcons football. He's now at 50. He is the lone record holder. And now also, he needed about 270 passing yards to become the career passing leader. Didn't quite get to it, but when they go to Waynedale next week, we'll have a highlight of that. He should break that to become just the all-time everything for passing. As we take a look at the WCAL standings and explain what we have left going on here. Hillsdale still atop, 6-0, 3-0. Norwayne, 3-0. Smithville behind Bear Rittman as well. Smithville, though, they ran on Hillsdale. They put up over 200 yards of offense. They're a good rushing team. A couple mistakes really took points off the board for them, but Smithville plays Norwayne week 9. Hillsdale plays Norwayne week 10. If Smithville were to somehow run the table, upset Norwayne, then Norwayne upsets Hillsdale, boom, 3-way tie for the conference championship. So don't count out Smithville yet, but the Hillsdale Falcons are rolling to the point that I don't think that's going to happen, Jonathan.
And I'm looking to the point where I'm looking as a Hillsdale Falcon fan, and I'm excited to see Smithville taking on Norwayne in that week 9. They could be a little bit weak going into week 10 after a little bit of a battle with the Smithies potentially. So I think the schedule definitely favors Hillsdale to get a chance at a WCAL title.
Yeah, so Hillsdale, they were... Hopefully you all watched my Country Roads rankings because Hillsdale dropped from number 1 to number 3 last week. But somebody jumped to our number 1 team, and, well, we're going to show you them right now. The number 1 team in the Country Roads rankings looking to have their best start in history. That is the Mount Gilead Indians taking on the East Knox Bulldogs. And it's the Bulldogs that strike first. Jax Lester to Dakota Cooper, 13 yards. It's 7-0. Oh, no. Upset alert, maybe? Yeah, about that. Right back at you, it's Cole Fricky going to the air. Wyatt Long, 51-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion, good. It's 8-7. And then we go back to the Barnum ball, the bowling ball. That is Carson Barnum, 4 yards out, 2-point conversion, good. He is the second leading rusher in all of the area. It's 16-7. Head to the fourth quarter now. It's 16-7 until the fourth quarter, and it's once again Mr. Carson Barnum from 1 yards out. Hit the lights, folks, down there at Mount Gilead. It's 24-7. And then only 2 minutes later, Mr. Barnum, again, this time showing off the physicalness. 19 yards out, 2-point conversion good once again, 33-7. Mr. Balt hit that light again. And finally, Mr. Fricky going to keep it himself. Out from right side, 9-yard touchdown, 39-7. For the first time in history, the Mount Gilead Indians are 6-0. Twice did they go 5-0, but never made it to 6-0. I know Jack Balt's down there running around the field, once again pumped up. Once again, Mike Reed's squad, so happy for them and what they've been able to do. Knocked off East Knox. Maybe some people thought this was, going to be a tough game for them because next week, another big one as they take on Centerburg. But, Jax Lester takes the team down the field, gets the touchdown, but then right back at you, Mount Gilead
playing their ball, answers with 39 straight points.
And I talked to Peyton Colopy on our call of the Crestview game about this Mount Gilead team. I originally thought this was just a team that knows how to win football games no matter how they get it done. I didn't really see them as a team that blows out their opponents, but that's what's been the last 2 weeks. Of course, Fredericktown and East Knox both struck early, and then it just seems like those halftime adjustments from Coach Reed, I feel like I would run through a brick wall for him. I don't know about you.
I would.
Whatever he says at halftime, I'm following it to a T. Fantastic stuff from Mount Gilead as they head to 6-0. First time in program history. Again, shout out to everybody at Mount Gilead. It has got to be a fantastic time. I'm sure everybody's at the End Zone Bar and Grill right now partying.
Got to be. Love the End Zone down there. They make great burgers and everything else. But also, you think this is a big line that they have. They run the ball so many times. You think they're going to wear out. But in the fourth quarters, when they took off with 3 scores to really end the game, to blow it out, and just seeing that from this Mount Gilead squad, it's a team that they want to wear you down and they want to get to that fourth quarter where they can just give you the knockout punch, and that's what can make Mount Gilead a lethal squad coming up. A couple other scores before we show you the KMAC standings. Fredericktown, big bounce back game, knocked off Northmore 25-13 tonight. Kirk Parker, 4 total touchdowns for the Freddies, so Scott Spittler's squad gets back in the winning ways. Centerburg, they're winning as well. The Trojans are just that one loss to the Johnstown team that's very good, but they are at 3-0. There's so another matchup, 3-0. Mount Gilead versus Centerburg will be coming up. Also, Danville came back to knock off the Loudonville Redbirds in the Hanaburger Bowl.
Ed Hanaburger, though, because it seemed like whatever you had game planned up for the first half, it worked perfectly. You had the lead going into the break, but we had close tabs on that game as Peyton was very excited to see what went on with his Danville Blue Devils. But it's good to see them finally get back into the win column. However, not as convincing as we probably thought it would be over there in Loudonville, as the Redbirds gave them a nice fight.
Yeah. So Mount Gilead stays atop of the KMAC standings along with Centerburg. Fredericktown sits a game behind those, so maybe with a little help, Fredericktown can get back into the race. But Mount Gilead, a big win tonight. Hillsdale, a big win tonight. Look out on Wednesday. Who's the top in my Country Roads rankings? And Colonel Crawford was also in there as well. But some more conferences that we're going to cover here is the Firelands, and you were up at Crestview as the Cougars. Looks like they found their footing over the past couple weeks. They started off 0-2, but 3 straight wins, and it seems like they're back to playing Crestview football.
Yes, they've had a quietly dominant last 3 weeks with 2 straight running clocks coming into the game, and it did not cease tonight. Let's go ahead and roll those highlights from that Crestview game as the Cougars took on Plymouth on homecoming night, just as it was all over Ohio for the home squads. Everybody ate at Scott Bailey Memorial Field, as you see the senior Branson Hyder, who ran this in from 2 yards out on their opening drive. He wasn't hiding from anybody tonight. We'll get back to him later. As we head now to Coach Haverdo Cullen on the sophomores name next. Wyatt Barber snips his way to the open turf and wins a foot race for his 3rd touchdown of the year. Moving late in the second quarter for some more offense. Cougars back down the red zone, and they cash in again thanks to their 3rd back to reach the end zone. Aiden Raymer leads the team in touchdowns with this one, making it 5 trips on the year. Second half we go, 21-0 heading in. Crestview wasted no time. This play, Liam Kuhn shows off the precision. Max Durbin, easiest touchdown of his life. C-split in the secondary makes it 27-0. Well, just for a few more minutes. A punt later from Plymouth, and you see yet again, Hyder, told you he was going to pop up again eventually, solidifies himself as the MVP of this one. 2 touchdowns on the night. And nothing doing from Plymouth's offense. Quickly after they stall out again, we see a Tim Tebow-style pop pass as Carter Goon finds himself a touchdown to end things there. All 42 points came in the first 3 quarters. Dominant performance as they take down Plymouth yet again.
And let's talk about the passing. We saw Crestview's usually a rushing game, but in my stat leaders on Wednesday as well, Goon and Kuhn have made it in receiving and passing. If you want to have a good rushing offense, you got to have the pass as well, and it seems like that's starting to mobilize as well for Crestview.
Yes, exactly right. Carter Goon, shout out to you as well. Your first touchdown of the season.
Yes, it was.
He was a homecoming king. Yeah. He was a homecoming king as well.
Hey.
So he was able to get that touchdown. He actually started the game with a tackle for loss, too. It just felt like he was everywhere
Hey, sometimes you get that crown put on you. It's like a power up you get, like in Madden or something else. You get the crown on there, and then you go off. But
I'll tell you what. So Crestview, of course, they had some really solid wins. They're 3-0 now on the season. We're going to talk about another team that's 3-0 in the Firelands coming up. But this next 3 weeks for Crestview, really tough. They head to St. Paul next week. They'll head to Western Reserve the week after, and they'll be at home right back again 3 weeks later against Monroeville. You may notice that 2 of those names are going to be the schools that we talk about next, because we've got Chris Belisle waiting on the sidelines, getting ready to talk about that Western Reserve Monroeville game that had a lot of eyes on it.
Send it over to Ski to break that down.
Hey, I thought we were bringing in Chris to break this one down.
Well, with you.
But yeah, man, this one had major juice, of course, in the Firelands Conference, Chris. I think arguably the top 2 contenders. Obviously, Crestview has played themselves into that conversation, but this was the one we were all keeping an eye on in the Firelands tonight, and it definitely did not disappoint.
Yeah, I tell you, this is a perfect example of why they play the game. I would have never thought after watching Western Reserve dismantle Norwalk St. Paul last week that they would come in and get manhandled by Monroeville. Monroeville scored early, scored often, and really just were very physical up front. I didn't think anybody could be that physical as I saw Western, but Monroeville really won the line of scrimmage tonight, outrushed Western Reserve about 280 to 100. Western got a few yards through the passing game. Our Friday night phenom, Brandon Wiggle, ended up with 2 more touchdowns, but he was held to around 60 yards. Hey, I'm just learning how to cut film, and I wasn't going to cut the American flag. I had to let it run. It was military appreciation night here at Batchelder Field. As you can see, the Western Reserve Rough Riders came out fired up. It was a great crowd on hand as they had the camo uniforms. Made it pretty tough to find their numbers when they were running up and down the field. But a little different here, as you can see here. Connor Boris, he's already been our MVP one time, and he takes the second play from scrimmage here for him, his second run, and he goes 63 yards for the touchdown. Incidentally, Monroeville would score 4 touchdowns every time they went for the extra point. Western each time would go for 2. Here later in the second quarter, towards the end of the half, Colton Clark finds room down the right sideline and goes in from 21 yards out. The PAT was added by Isaac Krieger, and it was 14-0 at the half. Western deferred and took the ball in the second half, and here's this kid is phenomenal. He's been up for some of our plays of the week. That's a Braxton Fralick catch. And then the guy we all talk about, Landon Wiggle, finds a little wiggle room and goes in from 2 yards out. They would add the 2-point conversion, and it was 14-8. Here again, with a minute to go in the third quarter following an interception, Wiggle would get his second touchdown. However, the 2-point conversion failed, and we were tied at 14. After a short kickoff, here again is Colt Clark, and he just puts a Western Reserve Rough Rider out of his shoes, puts a juke on him, and then heads to the sidelines, and he goes in from 46 yards out. They would tack on the PAT and lead at 21-14. Wiggle, why not? Let's go for touchdown number 3. He's had touchdown games of 5, 4, and 3 this year. And they would miss the 2-point conversion, so they trailed by 2. They get the ball back late, and Cooper Cleary from his middle linebacker position makes the interception with 3 minutes to go. Cooper ended up being our Prestige Pools MVP of the night. And then here, just for good measure, Colton Clark gets his 3rd touchdown of the game as he keeps it and goes around left end. Might have been not sure if Western let him score, because then they would get the ball back and have a chance. But here on 4th down and 4, the Monroeville defense would come up big and sack Colton Migro. And with that, the Monroeville Eagles would win it 27-0, or 27-20, excuse me.
Yeah, you mentioned that you were a little bit surprised, Chris, by the outcome here. You look at Western Reserve, they had been cooking 3 straight wins. They were scoring more than 40-plus points per game. But Monroeville, this is a team traditionally, they've been right up there near the top of the conference. They know what it takes. They've got that championship pedigree. What did you like most about this Eagle squad coming on the road and really disrupting and playing antagonist tonight?
Well, I like the fact that I think Monroeville knew they would have a hard time moving the ball through the air. They're a 3 yards in a cloud of dust team, and they just put on their work boots, went in there and beat up a big Western Reserve, big and physical Western Reserve offensive line, and really won the game in the trenches. And this Firelands Conference sets up just like it did last year. Monroeville beat Western last year. Western beat St. Paul, and then it came down to a Week 10 game where St. Paul upset Monroeville on the final play. Western also lost a game in there along the way to Crestview, and we ended up with co-leaders in the FC in Monroeville. I'm sure Ashland Crestview is going to have something to say about it. They've had their easy part of the schedule, as the boys said, and now they're going to get on to the rough part. Both Monroeville and Western get South Central and Mapleton next week, so they're probably Monroeville will move to 4-0 and Western to 3-1. But I was super pumped to watch Monroeville play tonight and just play as physical as they did. And they left their hearts out on the field. It was too bad somebody had to lose because it was an extremely well played game.
Western Reserve, obviously, they've got a fantastic running attack. Weigel right there at the top of the charts for the Firelands Conference. When this guy's going, obviously, that's how they go. What about the passing attack? Can they be multidimensional and beat you in a couple of different ways? Or is this a team that, when it's not really going well on the ground, things tend to come to a halt there with the offense?
Well, Western is without 3-year starter Hayden Keith at quarterback. He went out in week 1, and they've had Colton Migro, a sophomore, in relief for him, and he has done wonderful. But I don't think their passing games missed a beat. At halftime, they had 19 yards rushing and 65 passing. So Monroeville really keyed on Wiggle coming into the game, probably seeing his 5-touchdown performance effort last week. But no, they've got a slew of skilled players, and if you're not quick and have ball hawks at defensive back and safety, Western can throw for 300 yards on a night.
Let's go ahead and bring up those Firelands Conference standings right now and show you, because pretty much all the top teams, they're all going to play each other over these next several weeks. We mentioned that Crestview, they're running into their tough part of the schedule right now. So this is going to kind of unravel over the next several weeks. Do you have in your mind a favorite right now in the Firelands Conference as far as a team that you think has the most potential moving forward to keep picking up wins?
Well, let me say first that I think the Firelands Conference will come down to Game 10 at Contractor Stadium with Monroeville and St. Paul. I have not seen Crestview play. We're going to find out a lot about them the next 3 weeks. Western probably gets a share of that title because I just think they're too good after watching them dismantle St. Paul that they're going to slip up over their next 4 games. I know you were showing the standings there, but right now you've got Monroeville and Crestview at 3-0, St. Paul and Western Reserve at 2-1. But again, a lot of those teams play each other here over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and it's going to shake out then. But if I had to guess, I would say Monroeville's the team, just because their size up front and their speed with Boris and Clark, that they're maybe the team in the Firelands Conference that I think will make the best tournament run.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of fun as this thing starts boiling down to the closing weeks. And I see that you got your Browns hat on here today, Chris, and a lot of pride this week, baby. How about it? Big win on Sunday. Oh, what are we looking at there?
Chili cheese fries from Bluto's Sports Bar. Since the Spice Brothers didn't give us an invite, I got the Ranchero cheese fries.
All right, so probably pretty good. And okay, so we do have the updated standings here. You mentioned the 2 undefeated teams right now, but St. Paul, I think they're going to be a factor in this thing when it all comes to a close. Every single year, it seems like in Week 10, they've still got a pulse going on, and for them, New London coming up this next week before they take on the Cougars, and then they finish out with Monroeville. So that one could be for all the marbles, like you said. So definitely going to be a ton of fun to keep an eye on here, Chris, man. It's a league that pretty top heavy, and then the bottom feeders will probably just all be jockeying for 4th, 5th, 6th position.
Nope, I fully agree. These next couple days, couple big games for the Guardians. We need the Guardians to get a couple wins.
That's right,
and, the Browns have to go up into that state up north to take on the Lions. Hopefully our defense shows up again.
Yeah, well, I know this. I'm not going to be showing up again anytime soon to the Barley House. I was wiped out by halftime of that Browns game. My man, you guys know how to party. I got to say, you kick off your mornings right.
Let's do it again. Let's do it soon.
Let's do it, baby. All right, Chris Blolly, man, thanks for calling in here tonight and breaking down that huge game in the Firelands Conference. Guys, we're going to take one last commercial break. On the other side, I think you know what time it is. That's right. Hopefully, you got your dancing shoes on and you're ready to move and groove and get into some No Huddle headlines moving real quick because it's time to party with Jardy.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Hi guys, I need you all to have a foam finger. At Mechanics Bank, we're all about the community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, our caring professionals are ready to serve you with personally tailored services designed to meet the unique needs of each individual. When we take on a patient at Avita Home Health and Hospice, they really do feel like family. So when we take care of our family, we want to take care of the whole person. So we take care of them from our nurses, our aides, our physical, occupational, and speech therapists, but we also have people that tend to their hearts. So we have social workers, we have chaplains, and people that can help with the emotional side of their care.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, we have a dedicated team that takes care of you. Caring for the whole person is our promise to you. From social and emotional well-being to the way the patient relates to their loved ones, we treat your family like our family.
Serving patients and their families wherever they call home, including assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Call 1-800-4NURSES to see if Avita can help administer your plan of custom care.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
To the Friday Night Pigskin, just getting warmed up. That's right, I changed my shoes. I'm ready to groove, and we're going to bring in my friend up by the lake, Andy Jardy, because it's time for the Jardy Party.
Let's go, Brian. Did you break your microphone?
Hey, Andy, you've changed. You've aged. Oh, no, you're still
the
16.
Party's everywhere.
No, you're looking great, man.
How you doing
The smooth baby face this week. Is this the reverse of the playoff beard for what's about to happen here for the guards?
No, it was just time to shave. I'm not that superstitious with the whole playoff beard thing, but yeah, we'll worry about playoff beards when we make it because we haven't made it yet. So.
Well, there's a team we know is going to be in the playoffs, Andy, but everybody around the state was keeping an eye on Marion Local tonight. This is the biggest no-brainer of the no-huddle headlines. Yeah. Wow, almost didn't extend the streak, man. What happened?
Yeah, this was almost, last week I was like, what am I going to do whenever Marion Local loses a game? Because this is always how I start things off. But yeah, they get to win number 70 tonight. But they trailed 19-7 in the fourth quarter. They get 2 touchdowns, including one with under 3 minutes left to play, and it gives the Flyers the win, 20-19 over Versailles. What an incredible game this was! But Marion Local remains unblemished, 70 wins in a row. Huge game up here as well too in Division II, Region 5. Might be showing my age a little bit here, but how about Hoban's Heroes? A potential preview of the Division II Region 5 regional final. It went the way of Hoban tonight over Walsh Jesuit, 19-14 in a thriller. Hoban's won 13 of the last 14 meetings between these two, and they've met in the regional final 3 of the last 4 seasons, and very much could be seeing each other again. This was an incredible game. A lot of great crowds tonight, a lot of big-time playoff-type matchups, and this was definitely one of the games in the state of Ohio tonight. So shout out to Hoban for the big win. And how about Shelby? Sensational again. We talk about that offense all the time.
Yeah.
How about the defense now? Back-to-back shutouts here these last 2 weeks. They roll 42-0. They go to 6-0. I don't think anybody's stopping them this year. This team is unreal, led by Mr. Ohio candidate Braden DeVito. But what a job by their defense these last 2 weeks, throwing up the shutouts. And then over in the CAME action, Mount Gilead and Centerburg not looking ahead to that huge matchup next week. They both get big wins tonight. And how much fun is that game going to be next week between those two? Woo!
We were just talking about it. Everybody's texting me. All of the OH.Reporters want to call that game. Jonathan's trying to dibs it. Truax is texting me. So I don't know, Andy. I'm in a pickle here.
I think the best thing to do is that's the only game that we do, and just everyone's a part of it. We'll have like the Manning broadcast. You can have like 2 people on the couch back in the studio watching it, and then you can have like a StatCast version of the game. I think we just go all out. I think that's what we do.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other teams wouldn't mind if we're all just crowded into one press box for the week. Why not, Andy? It does sound like a lot of fun, though. I would like to see the game myself. But what else went down tonight that we got to know about?
Well, that was pretty much it for the No Huddle headlines that I had here for you, but that does not exclude Andy's dandies here for you tonight, and we got a few of them. I mentioned the Hoban game, but we'll start with Perkins. And how about Sam Schweinfurth? 234 passing yards, 5 touchdowns in the first half, Brian.
Hello.
In the first half, the Pirates sink the Flyers 63-14. My second Andy's dandy here for you. will be that Hoban game that I mentioned. How about Brayton Feister? 2 touchdowns for the Knights, including one with 38 seconds left. That gave them the win over Walsh, 19-14. A huge game as well in Division II. Avon, the defending Division II state champs, they were a little banged up here tonight, and they relied on their backup running back, Michael Colburn, who came in with 3 touchdowns for the Eagles. He steps in, keeps Avon rolling. They get a win 55-27 over Berea Mid-Park. This game was 28-21 Avon at the half, but a big second half by the Eagles keeps them rolling. They've got 1 loss this year, and it was to a team from Florida by 3 points. Avon is the real deal. Watch out for them in Division II. Shout out to Kirtland's Tiger Laverty, the head coach. Career win number 250 at Kirtland. He gets a huge win, and his team gets a huge win tonight over previously unbeaten Wycliffe tonight, 42-0. And I think I saw he's like 229 games above 500 at Kirtland. His winning percentage is like .921. It's absolutely insane. We got one more Andy's Dandy for you. I know Doug talked about him a little bit, but how about Nathan Bernhard from Ashland? Yeah. I mean, what an incredible run he is having here. 3 touchdowns through the air, 2 on the ground. They stay undefeated. Big win over Madison, 38-7. And I know he set a bunch of school records. It'd probably be easier to list the records he didn't set tonight. And I don't think he holds the school record for tackles. That's about the only thing I don't think he set tonight.
That's because he never throws interceptions and he doesn't have to bring anybody down. He has 0 so far, Andy, through 6 weeks. That's the most impressive stat for me seeing Nathan Bernhardt this season. Him and Braden DeVito, they were my Heisman mid-season winners on the podcast on Monday. And definitely it's really just it's a treat to watch each of those quarterbacks, and as well as they've been playing here moving into week number 7, and both of them are still undefeated. We're going to check in real quick, Andy, on the Northern 10 Conference. We didn't have any of their action on our airwaves tonight. Real kind of a letdown. We almost always have at least one game in the Northern 10. So I'm going to have Jonathan Travis check in on that one for you guys and show me how it's all kind of shaping out there northwest of here.
Yeah, well, the team you expected to be at the top, the team that you expected to win tonight did win. That is the Colonel Crawford Eagles. They are 6-0, 3-0. Mohawk as well. Crawford and Mohawk, the same scores on the night, defeating Bucyrus and Buckeye Central, I believe 42-0 on both scores. So there's a little Berardi dandy for you right there, or headline or whatever. But Seneca East, 2-1. Cary's got a big win. They're starting to bounce back as well, Andy and Brian. 3-3. Buckeye Central, Upper, Bucyrus, Winford, all losers tonight, dropped to the bottom of the standings. But Mr. Jardy, I do want to mention something, some controversy in that Marion local game. I have video that shows a big pass play called complete on the field, but it actually hit the receiver, bounced off the ground, and he landed on it, and the referees called it a catch. And that led to the game-winning touchdown in the final minute. So a little controversy here. Maybe the referees want to see the streak go on because Max Preps had to put that nice little thing out saying they're the third, any sport, the third longest win streak going along. But a little controversy in that game. Can't be reversed or anything like that, Jonathan. But, yeah, so Marion Local surviving with a little help from their friends in the
there's
stripes.
no officiating crew that can put out a statement and say, we messed up.
No reviews
That
either.
doesn't happen in high school football.
No. But, yeah, the Colonel Crawford Eagles, Andy and Brian, one of those teams in a very tough region as well. D6 Region 23. Mount Gilead's number 2. Colonel Crawford's number 3. You got Centerburg at number 8. A couple other teams. Crestview's trying to get in, Northmore as well. But that's a stacked region where any of those teams that we have could do something.
It's so stacked to the fact that Crestview right now sits 15th. They would not make the tournament. Plymouth points do not exist. They did not get any points for their games. Their win today.
Yeah, the Northern 10, it definitely feels like it's Colonel Crawford's for the take-in. Talking a little bit to the quarterback's father today, and it feels like they're at a little bit different level than maybe they even were last year. Just everything really feels like it's synergizing within the squad, and definitely the Eagles are the team to keep an eye on within that league. Andy, you're doing some Cleveland area football now, so fill us in real quick. Who did you see tonight? You talked about Hoban a little bit, and obviously a big game down there in the Akron area. Who's some of the premier programs right now that you're going to get a chance to see over the next couple weeks?
Yeah, so obviously the Hoban Walsh game was huge tonight. That was kind of the big one. Avon, like I mentioned, in D2 is really good as well. Highland is having themselves a season. They won 62-0 tonight. They are undefeated, and they are a team that is generating a lot of buzz as well too. You got Wadsworth as well, who is playing really well. They're undefeated. Division 2, might be the best division this year, top to bottom. I think that those playoffs are going to be absolutely incredible. And then there was a big win too for CVCA over Lake Catholic. The Royals stay undefeated. They have a kid going to Rutgers. He's a 3-star recruit. He had 2 rushing touchdowns tonight, and that propelled them to a big win over a Lake Catholic team that had been playing really well this year. And gave up 28 points tonight. I think they were playing really good defense all year, but kind of had a rough night tonight trying to stop the kid going to Rutgers.
Well, speaking of the Cleveland area, broke down tonight 7-3. I've been trying to keep up a little bit. They're tied right now at the top of the AL Central, right, Andy? But break down what we need this weekend in order to get into the tournament and all the different scenarios and the factors. How do we see the guards and what they need to do?
Are you okay if I change real quick? Is that okay? Am I allowed to do that?
Wardrobe change.
So we got this is the only time you're ever going to see this. Mm-hmm. We got some big help from Boston tonight. Walk off against the Tigers, and then shout out to the Angels. I know this is Anaheim, but I still have this starter jacket from way back in the day, baby. The Angels and Mike Trout beat the Astros tonight, and so I am I'm a very conflicted fan this weekend, having to put, this Red Sox hat on. But so the Guardians' magic number to win the division is 2. So any win and a Tigers loss, we clinch the division. The Guardians have the tiebreaker over the Tigers as well. So if we finish tied with Detroit, if we both win the next 2 or we both lose the next 2, Cleveland would win the Central because they won the head-to-head series with Detroit. So Cleveland has the tiebreaker over Detroit. And now with the Astros losing tonight, the magic number to clinch a playoff spot is just 1. So any combination of a Guardians win or an Astros loss, Guardians are going to the postseason. And that's enough of this Boston nonsense. I'm throwing this hat on now. Ugh. It was disgusting.
Will I see you at Progressive Field tomorrow night, Mr. Jardy?
Are you
Maybe
going?
heading up to the game. Maybe heading up to the game, especially if it's to clinch the division.
Yeah, so Detroit plays during the day, which I don't love that they're playing before the Guardians are. So Cleveland should have an idea as to whether or not they can clinch the division by the time they take the field tomorrow night. It's always tricky too because with the Red Sox clinching tonight, you're going to get the hangover lineup tomorrow, so it might be a good chance for the Tigers to get a win, and they know that if they win, Houston's eliminated. So Detroit, obviously a lot to play for. All the pressure's on Houston. They got to find a way to win. I'm a little nervous with how the Guardians have played the last 2 days because they're so close, and I think they're pressing a little bit. But hopefully they regroup tonight. Cantillo's going to pitch tomorrow. The Rangers are going with the bullpen game, and the kid they're starting went to Kent State. So I don't love that factor in all of this as well too. But yeah, I'm debating going. If you're going, I might have
we'll
to.
be in touch. We'll be in touch. I might have to move some fall plans over to Sunday since the Steelers play at 9:30 in the morning. Maybe do that in the afternoon and go to the Guardians game, or go to the Guardians game on Sunday if we see the Detroit's winning big. But that should be a fun atmosphere over in Cleveland. They're going to get a winner possibly on Sunday. Maybe not the Browns, but the Guardians.
Yeah, the crowds this homestand have been incredible. I worked that Tiger series, and man, to see the fans come out on school nights, middle of the fall calendar for everyone, getting out and coming and supporting the team was huge. It's the playoffs now. Let's just say it like it is. They have to win these games to continue playing. So it's been great crowds, great atmosphere, and just an incredible. If they could make the playoffs, this is one of the I posed the question, and we can maybe talk about this on the podcast Monday, but, like, what's the more impressive streak? The 22-game winning streak the Guardians had, or what they've done this year? And I think it's what they've done this year.
All right. We've got a lot to come up on Monday on the podcast, plenty to discuss, and it looks like you guys are going to have a fun day up in the city tomorrow, Andy. So looks like you need to spend a little less time in thrift shops getting little knickknacks from every single team in the American League.
Hey,
but I appreciate you representing.
This was the pride of Value City, baby, as a kid, man. They used to sell these things. I still have them because the nostalgia factor is phenomenal. And you just never know when you might need an Anaheim Angels starter jacket. So here we are.
Yeah. You and Jeff Allen keeping that look alive for the rest of us, my friend. Keep it going, Andy. Appreciate you partying with us here on the Friday Night Pigskin. We got plenty more still coming up over the next couple of weeks. So enjoy your Saturday, and we'll see you back here on the OH Report. Good night, everybody.